communicated, or maybe it was only communicated inside my head, that we had adjourned for August. But I now see that, in fact, we have the normal agenda laid out, so I must have at some point thought that this was a good idea. What? Sorry, everyone. Have we started going through CFF highlights or PMC highlights yet?
Not yet. We can, though, if you'd like to.
Okay. With apologies for being late, we can go ahead and get started with Cloud Foundry Foundation highlights and updates if we have someone from CFF here. Chris?
Sure. Well, the big news I've got is that we don't yet have dates for Cloud Foundry Summit. But it will be late October or possibly early November. There are dates that are not yet confirmed, but it is coming up soon. Hopefully, in another week or so, we'll have those dates locked down, and we'll have an EU summit late October, possibly early November, and we will be probably using a different platform than last time, but all of this stuff will be shared quite soon. We do have hands-on labs that we're running. We're going to be running independently of CF Summit. So this is kind of exciting. The only one that we've got finalized and scheduled right now is actually tomorrow, and that's Try Cloud Foundry with Steve Greenberg. So if you know any folks who want to, who are kind of beginners, want to push their first app, there'll be a tutorial hands-on lab tomorrow, and then we can discuss if people have ideas, if they want to run other labs independent of Cloud Foundry Summit, please reach out to me. Yeah.
Chris, is that on the community calendar?
Yes, I believe it is. Yes, it is.
Okay, I'll put that in the notes as well. Anything else exciting?
That's all I've got.
Okay, awesome. Okay, Eric, would you like to present the PMC highlights for app runtime? You have put the notes in here, I see.
Yeah, happy to provide some updates across the projects. So the CLI has continued releasing patch versions of the V7 CLI. I think they just released 7.02 with a couple of bug fixes. And then both of the integration projects are proceeding along with releases for the K8s targeted CF distributions. So Relent had another minor version of CF for K8s, 0.50. I think the headline feature of that was supporting external database integrations. So thanks to the folks from SAP that put a lot of work in contributing that. And I think they're also planning to release 0.60 pretty soon, but I don't recall what the headline features of that are off the top of my head. I know they're continuing to work on, with some of the other component teams, on restructuring how secrets are wired and consumed and that set of resources. And then kubectl has had a couple of releases as well. There was a 2.23 patch release and then a new minor version 2.30, which I saw had support for external blob stores for Irene. And then some of the highlights from the component teams. Cappy has been working on automated rollouts of stack updates and the KPAC resources. So similar to updating the stack release in a Bosch-based deployment. And I think that's nearly done. They might just be checking a few things on that. And then they've been doing some work looking into how service bindings in general are adapting to the K8s ecosystem and conventions coming from cloud native build packs in order to better support those and kind of starting to evolve away from the VCAP services contract inside of Cloud Foundry to supply service binding information at build time and at runtime. And then Irene's continued to work on some of their tracks. I think they've just been finishing up support for one-off application tasks. And they've also been refining some of the initial work around producing a CRD version of some of their resources. So kind of baby steps on the way to having some of their components act more like controllers behind a CRD interface in the cluster. And they've also been doing a little bit of work to support the CF instance index environment variable inside of app instance containers, because we do know that some applications key off of that, especially whether or not the app index is 0. Some other highlights, networking is continuing to work on Istio scalability, and I think they've been working with the logging team to have a more refined presentation of route access logs in CF Fricate's deployment, instead of just getting kind of the fire hose of whatever the Istio sidecar proxy for an app instance is handling. And then speaking of the fire hose, Login Metrics also announced recently that they have canceled the deprecation of the V1 Firehose interfaces for the time being. And this is in part because they've continued to uncover some performance issues with some of the V2 Logregator components. And they've been working on improving the performance, especially of the log cache and RLP gateway. I think some of that is related to the JSON serialization and HTTP1 instead of HTTP2 protocols that they use when those are exposed externally. So, and then also I think we saw in CFDev that UA has been doing a little bit of cleanup on their repos, and I think they're moving a couple of them to the attic, and they have found in Dr. Nick a willing caretaker for a couple of the others, most notably the CF UAA library. So it's the Ruby library for interacting with UAA. Anyway, so those are some of the highlights from the Runtime PMC over the past month or so. Happy to take any questions about those to the extent that I'm able to answer them.
The logging and metrics cancellation of the deprecation, actually I'm breathing a sigh there, that helps. Some people I know, could you link to that announcement that they changed?
Oh yeah, sure.
If you could put that in the CAB agenda doc, that would be great.
Yeah, I can dig that out.
Does anyone have any questions on these updates? Okay. Is anyone from the Bosch PMC here today?
I don't see anyone on
Hi.
the call.
Yeah, who's that?
Hi, it's Kevin. So,
hey, Kevin.
Just a brief update. Hi. So we've been doing some mostly maintenance, pipeline maintenance to clean up a few pipelines that have slowly been going red over the years.
Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin, you're gonna have to
Kevin,
repeat
you're
that.
breaking up. Can you turn off your video?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that would help.
Yeah, Kevin, if you could just turn off video and go just audio and try that again. We lost most of that.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. So it's a short update. We have a couple Windows updates that we're working through. We've been doing maintenance on our pipelines to fix up a few places where they were getting a little bit stale, and doing the standard going through our repos and trying to get them. So it's mostly been maintenance and love of all the pieces needed to build and automate the pipe, continuing to work on bug fixes. So.
Okay. Sounds good. Not much from extensions from me. As Eric mentioned, a couple of the UAA projects are moving to the attic. The other two are moving to the extensions PMC, and Dr. Nick is going to take care of them. Those are OmniAuth UAA OAuth 2 and CFUAA lib. And special thanks to Dr. Nick for taking those on. I think he was the author of them originally, or was certainly involved in them before. So thanks to him. I'm still gathering project updates from the leads in the Slack channel. So if you are in the extensions PMC and have not yet heard from me, feel free to reach out to me on Slack. We have not yet started our move from master to main, which is something that I was going to encourage all the projects to do. But we will be doing that once I've gotten project updates from everyone. Probably going to streamline the process a little bit. I've discovered some robots that are really a little more than we need in the extensions PMC for for automatic creation of trackers and things like that. I didn't know they were there when when I took over, so I just maybe need to clean up a little bit the process there and get things current. So yeah, not anything else to update on extensions. Anything else we're missing from the Cloud Foundry universe of contributions? Did we mention Irene X in any of this? There was some news in conjunction with KubeCon about the donation of Irene X to the Cloud Foundry Foundation. The maintenance of that will be taken up by the Irene team. Demetrius from SUSE has joined that team and can help with that coordination. Also, I totally forgot, in extension, Stratos 4 has been released. It should have been the news right off the top. And there's a blog post about that on the Cloud Foundry website. Have we got anyone from the Stratos team on the call who would like to give an update? I don't think so. Okay, the information on that release is all up on the website. It's looking pretty good. I did not get any volunteers for community projects or presentations today, but I am willing to open the floor for anyone who wants to discuss items of pressing importance or has something to present. Okay. Well, let's adjourn early then. Again, very sorry to have showed up late to this. Sorry I wasted your 8 minutes. Glad we at least got the updates out, and I'll see you for sure in a month.
Great, thanks, Troy.
All right,
Thank you,
thanks,
Troy.
Troy.
See you next month.
Okay,
Bye all.
bye-bye.
Bye.